Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's our version of the Three Wise Men. It's guys of a certain age. No wise stuff people hear. I'm going to try that all over again. That was pretty horrible. Okay. Note to myself, that sucked. 3, 2, 1. It's the podcast that doesn't have three wise men, just three guys of a certain age. Robbie Koblentz in studio alongside
Jay Reed.
And Art Shirley remotely.
Remotely. We had, what was it?
Not remotely Art Shirley.
You're right. Well, you could be remotely Art Shirley. Or you nearly Art Shirley.
Yeah. Very nearly Art Shirley.
Very nearly Art Shirley. So, all right, we're in the new year. How are you guys doing? Have you survived your holiday excursions?
As far as we know.
Yeah, barely. I'm just, my head is spinning. I'm ready to, I've got after we record, I have a day and a half of work, and then I have like over a week off, which is so very rare, and I'm so very grateful for my employers.
Little inside baseball. We're recording this before Christmas, but you will be listening if you happen to listen. And hello to new listener Brian. You'll be listening to this probably in a couple of weeks. We're trying to get a little bit of a head, so we're assuming there was no EMP that wiped out the North American ecosystem during the holiday break. So, but yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
So
if it has, this is the least of our concern, whether the podcast is correct or not.
Well, it's kind of always least of our concerns whether this podcast is accurate or
That's
timely.
That's very true.
Anyway.
Also, shout out to new listener Michael Peterson. I probably shouldn't use his whole name. Do we do that? Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
Coworker of mine who's a big fan of the show.
And as
listens to the show.
Well,
fandom
is in question. And as we record this, yesterday was Cousin Mervin's birthday. So,
yes, it was.
Yeah, there we go.
So we went out and celebrated Cousin Mervin's birthday last night.
But we didn't let Cousin Mervin know about that. So
yeah, that's right.
Sorry about that, Merv. So, all right, let's jump into some Geeks of the Week. Who wants to go first? Jay, you need a little bit more time for
I got that part I've got. It's the rest of the episode that I'm not so sure about.
Well, how does that change? How does that change?
That's par.
Normal.
So, remote art. You want to enlighten us with a Geek of the Week?
Oh, yeah. So here's some streaming news. I don't know if you've heard this before. We haven't discussed it yet. It seems to be pretty fresh. I think it just came out a few hours ago. But Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery.
That was.
Oh no! Did I get yours?
Yeah.
Well, you want to take it? Go ahead, and I'll look for another one while you're telling us.
Well, so what I think is pretty fascinating about this is not just streaming, but it's the idea that Warner Brothers, which is valued somewhere around $30 billion, will buy either Paramount, the Paramount unit of National Amusements Incorporated, or the entirety of NAI, which is valued around $10 billion, to create a new entertainment giant. So Sumner Redstone was the primary owner of Paramount for years. He died a few years back, and his wife and the chairman of Paramount are exploring ideas of what to do with the Paramount empire. And so the CEO, chairman, whoever from Paramount, and his compatriot at Warner Brothers had a meeting a couple days ago as we record, just kind of exploring options. So there's speculation that Paramount may become a subsidiary rolled into Warner Brothers in order to take on the Amazon, Netflix, Disney empire. So pretty fascinating, where we would have a world where Captain Kirk and a Green Lantern could coexist.
So Warner Brothers is right now under the Max as far as streaming, right?
Yeah. So Warner Brothers is the parent company that had HBO.
Right.
They've got DC, they've got Discovery. Their streaming service is now HBO Max. Well, it's now Max. It was HBO Max. And if you notice, which is pretty fascinating, is we see the evolution of the app known as Max. There's a lot of live streaming components now. You've got live streaming from CNN, so you've got news. You've got some sports from TBS and TNT, some NBA games. So they're turning it into not just a entertainment library destination, but just a complete media hub. And if you notice on the Disney side, they're starting to do the same thing with Hulu. So you've got some Hulu streams now on the Disney Plus app. So I think before it's all said and done, Hulu is going to go away as a standalone, and it will become part of the Disney Plus app. And remember, we talked about Disney had bought out the remaining minority shares of Hulu, so they have control of the Hulu app. So probably maybe what you're going to end up seeing on Disney Plus is ABC and ESPN streams potentially. But remember, Disney's exploring spinning off ESPN and selling it. So we may get to a world where you have Disney ABC, then a separate ESPN app, which is its own company, and then the combination of the Warner Brothers, HBO Max, Discovery, Paramount ecosystems. So, which
is also going to include the CBS shows.
That's right.
And then so you've got Disney Hulu, which is going to be ABC.
Yep.
You've got the whatever Max, Paramount, Discovery, all that Warner Brothers just come. We'll see CBS, and then you got to figure at some point Universal and Peacock are going to have to step up their game.
Yeah.
And have the NBC. So we're going to be back to basically
the three major networks.
The three major networks. And then to get everything, you've got.
We may have lost Art.
Well,
there we go.
Okay, there you
really?
Oh, now come back.
Okay.
Now,
so does that mean PBS will be, because PBS was always the fourth network? Will that be BritBox?
Yeah, well, so...
you had Fox that really came in as the fourth
that's true,
broadcast.
Fox, yeah.
And so Fox, now that Fox sold off the 20th Century Fox studio to Disney, Fox as a standalone, you've got a little bit of a sports component, but the sports component of Fox has never been nearly as strong as ESPN. And
no, not at all.
You've got Fox News, which is still a moneymaker, but it doesn't have cross-demographic appeal. And then Fox Network. So to me, Fox is probably the weakest of the bunch. And, I don't know. Maybe NBC and Fox are probably the weakest of the bunch at this point as far as major names.
Yeah, I think I'd absolutely agree with that. I mean, of those we've mentioned, like I said, I've gotten rid of Disney Plus recently, but I can see that would be something I would go back to at some point.
But do you still have your? Do you have your DC? What was your?
Yeah, DC Universe, and I've got to cancel that because it's one of those things that I go, I never even use this anymore. Do I still have this? And I don't even know when it renews again. So I've got to look and see where I've got that subscription and cancel that because I love reading the comic books through it, but I just hardly ever think to go back and look at it anymore. So yeah, I need to get rid of that.
You are to DC Plus, DC Universe as Jay was to Netflix DVD service.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll have to celebrate in the same fashion once I do finally cut DC Universe, which may be I need to look and see if I'd already paid for another year. I think it's right at the first of the year, so I'll look at it. Too.
Well, are you just waiting for them to send you some comic books when they shut down the service?
Yes, yeah. Hey, we got these comic books we scanned. You want some of those? We don't.
We'll send you a bunch of PDFs.
Hard copy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, load them up to the Dropbox. Yeah.
So anyway, it's very interesting to see what's happened with the streaming services. Like I said, I'll probably go back to Disney Plus. I've already started having some withdrawals of some things. I know in the second half of this show, we'll talk about some things that are coming up that are probably going to go. All right, it's time to go. It's time to go back.
Yeah. Well, that's my geek. Art, you and I can share that geek of the week because that was almost 9 minutes of geekage.
Yeah, we can. Let me make a quick announcement about my quick little geek here. Godzilla -1, which is in theaters now, is apparently just getting a lot of rave reviews from fans. I don't know if the critics like it or not, but it's a Godzilla movie created by the original studio, Toho Studios, and is not part of the legendary film series, which includes Monarch, the Legacy of Monsters, which is playing on Apple TV, Godzilla versus Kong, and all those. Yeah, which we're loving that.
So is that the end of your comment? Are you still there, Art?
I'm still here.
Okay. Robbie, no.
We're just looking like it sounded like you got cut off in midstream. So.
Maybe I have. Maybe I should. Yeah, anyway.
No.
But Godzilla.
Go ahead.
Godzilla -1 is releasing a black and white version because, the kind of time with the original version of Godzilla that came out in the 50s that was black and white. And it's called Godzilla -1 minus color.
Otherwise known as the Art Shirley edition.
That's wow, okay. Colorblind for new listeners.
Gosh.
So I guess there's no reason for me to see it twice. Like I never realized Zack Snyder had two versions of Justice League out, or that there were two versions of Werewolf by Night.
Which I still have never seen Werewolf by Night.
Never really understood all the hoopla around Wizard of Oz changing sometime when she read it. I was, what are you talking about? Looks the same throughout for me. What do you mean?
Oh, poor Art. Art.
That's
Okay.
Back in the 60s watching those shows, now in living color. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything.
Oh,
Okay,
that's pretty funny.
That's enough of my rant. Maybe I've been cut off again.
Yeah. No, you're still there. So, Jay, what's your geek?
I'm going to take a look back. Can you believe it? But I look back in order to look forward. How about that?
How very futuristic.
How very futuristic. So, and I'm not talking about the new version of Ken sung by Ryan Gosling in a Christmas sort of version, but that's also out today.
What?
You know the song Ken that Ryan Gosling sang in the Barbie movie? I don't know if
Ken.
Yeah, I don't know if the words changed, but I saw just a little reel about how he had released a Christmas version, but Christmas with a K, because Ken, get it. So anyway, so that's just a bonus.
It'll never be enough.
A bonus. Bonus geek. But Art and I, we've talked about the Libby app and audiobooks and stuff, and so I was I think I mentioned before I listened to a Neil Gaiman book, like a little novella, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, I think is the name of it. So I was looking through to see if there was anything else that he read of his stuff, and came across something called Norse mythology, which it's not, he didn't dream up the stories. He took all the stories of Norse mythology, which is Thor, Loki, Odin, and a bunch of others, and basically retold it kind of in his own voice. But it's ancient stories of Norse mythology that he just wrote or rewrote, and but then on the audiobook he reads them himself. So I'm sure y'all have heard his voice. He has an awesome voice,
very distinctive
voice. Mm-hmm. And he's really cool to listen to. And so I recently listened. It's very kind of short. I think it was only like 6+ hours of an audiobook, which is not a long one, so it didn't take long to listen to. But I thought
6 hours.
Yeah, about 6. Yeah. Well, I mean, relatively speaking.
Actually, I say that, but it takes me probably about twice as long as it is because I'll fall asleep and have to go back and listen to whatever I fell asleep through.
Oh, and I'm listening to it on
bad when I'm driving.
Commute. Yeah, well, well, it keeps me awake. That's the thing. I love to listen to that kind of stuff. But
me too.
The reason I found it fascinating is because my primary interaction with the Norse gods has been through Marvel movies.
Yes,
and so listening to the old stories about who they were and how they came to be and what their quote unquote powers were really just sort of gave a whole new nuance to, like, Loki. I mean, Hiddleston did a great job of portraying sort of the classic Loki, but there's more to him than that. And same with Thor, and there was a story about how the hammer came to be, and Odin, how he lost his eye, and all these kind of things. It just adds depth to the character. So I just want to recommend, if you haven't listened or heard or read that book, it does add a lot to.
So
where did you find it?
And where did you find it? What's the name?
I found it on the Libby app, which is just basically a library app, but I'm sure any audio book outlet would have it. I checked it out. I mean, otherwise you'd have to buy it, but or whatever you do on audiobooks. But
Napster it.
What's the name of the book?
It's just called Norse Mythology
by Neil Gaiman.
Okay,
read by Neil Gaiman.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet that's really good.
Yeah. So if you like his voice,
we'll check that out.
It was more fun for me to listen to him tell it than it would have been, I think, for me to read it.
You wouldn't want me or Art to read it to you?
I hear your voice plenty, so I don't want to overdo it.
Oh, ouch!
Gosh,
that hurt.
Too much of a good thing, as they say.
That kind of hurt to the quick.
Let's leave with that.
All right, we're going to lick our wounds and try not to cry too much on the break. When we come back, we're going to make some predictions for 2024, things we're looking forward to. Up next. And we're back after Jay coughed up a lung. Art took a nap, and I got stuck into a Twitter doom scroll. But we're back for you guys, and we're going to talk to 2024. So we decided, hey, let's look forward to what we're kind of looking forward to from to watch, maybe a crazy prediction or two, movies, TV shows, the whole 9 yards. So. Let's talk about TV shows we would be interested in to watch on the new year. Who wants to go first and say, hey?
Why don't you go first since I'm looking at movies?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at TV shows right now. You know, the TV show.
Tell us what's coming up.
Yeah, well, the TV show that I was most interested in probably for the new year has been pushed back to 2025, and that's Andor season 2. It originally was going to be popped out for 24. If you recall, Andor was going to be always 2 seasons, and the second season was going to take place each episode. There was going to be time jumps between each episode, with the last episode taking place right before Rogue One. But because of the writer's strike and because of the actor strike, everything got pushed back. So it has been pushed to 2025, hypothetically. So that's what I was really, really, really interested in, that I'm a little disappointed in. 2025 appears to be a big year for Marvel and Star Wars. Because you've got the Alkalite show coming out on for Star Wars, but that's probably the big one I'm looking forward to. Echo is going to drop it actually may have dropped by the time this show drops. That's the next Marvel continuity piece, and that looks interesting. And of course, I was looking forward to the new Daredevil, but that has undergone massive rewrites and reshoots. And
I doubt it's going to be out, right?
Yeah, nobody knows when it's going to happen.
Maybe at the very end of the year?
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, those are the ones I'm looking forward to from a TV show standpoint. I think we're probably at a point where the writers and actor strike has caught up with our availability of entertainment. I think 24 is going to be a pretty sparse year. So
that's what it seemed like to me. It's like it seems there were several series we thought might be happening. I for one was hoping to see a Severance come out 2024. I see no evidence of that happening. That's a show that I really would like to see sooner rather than later, but it's going to be later.
Yeah.
The ones you mentioned are good. I noticed a lot of them are on Disney Plus. It's their Marvel and Star Wars. So again, that's what I'll have to do. I'm not particularly just really, really amped up about any of the ones that are coming up. I see the Penguin is probably the only one that's a DC property that might be coming out. But the show that is going to happen that I'm kind of looking forward to is Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
Which is Spielberg and Tom Hanks and getting together to produce a series they did, Band of Brothers of the Pacific, and this is about a bomber squadron in World War II, and Austin Butler, who played Elvis, is one of the main stars of that, and that's going to be coming out. What is that going to be on?
It's
Apple
on
TV. Max.
No, it's Apple TV.
Apple
Plus.
TV. No, Apple TV. Yes,
Yeah.
That's right. So that's one thing I thought. Well, that's going to make me continue to keep that because that's something that I'm a big fan of. Band of Brothers, especially. Pacific was good and well done, but it didn't hit me the same way that Band of Brothers did. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming out on Netflix. They're finally going to try to make a live-action adaptation of that. So,
is this a series? I saw that listed. Is that a series or is that a movie?
Yeah, so it was a series that originally was on Nickelodeon. It was an anime adaptation that ended up on Nickelodeon that got to be incredibly popular about 15, 18 years ago, somewhere in that ballpark. And then R. Night Shyamalan tried to do a movie adaptation that apparently just fell incredibly flat.
Yeah, it really did not do well at all.
Yeah, and so Netflix grabbed the IP and said, "Hey, we're going to try it." So, but yeah, Jay, what about you for TV shows?
I don't really have a lot of TV I'm looking forward to that's new. I'm just going to be trying to like catch up. So like For All Mankind, I know y'all have already watched that last season. I'm going to catch up on that.
I haven't started the last season.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
That.
Well, that's definitely
But
something that's on my radar. And
yeah,
I think we're all watching Gilded Age too. That's going to be on the radar again. And
yeah,
so
we finished that up. I'm sure probably by the, y'all will have finished that up soon.
Depends. Yeah. We're going to probably a streamless week of Christmas in a condo with bad internet. So we may not catch up until we get back.
We may never see Jay again. He's going to the mountains in East Tennessee,
right.
never to be heard from. His middle name is going to be Donner.
Getting off the grid.
His middle name is going to be Donner.
Jay Donner Reed. Donner Reed. Wasn't she in It's a Wonderful Life?
Donner.
Yeah. Well, what about movies?
Movies I got.
Or Jay, give us some movies you're looking for.
As we were saying off mic, the looking at most anticipated movies of 2024, if you look at the various lists, I didn't really know any of them. I mean, there's a few that I recognized that I knew were coming, but I did notice this, and just before we talk about favorites or most anticipated, there are a lot of 2s, 3s, and 4s coming out this year. There's even I was just noticing there's something coming out called Transformers 1, which obviously is not the first one, but it's got Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth. It's another from the Transformers universe, but I think what I read was it was kind of set aside separately, so it's a different universe of Transformers or something, however they want to word it. But
I have not heard that.
But Beetlejuice 2, Gladiator 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I didn't see the first one. Venom 3.
But what's weird about Beetlejuice and Gladiators, we're so far after the original movie.
Oh, long time. Yeah, Beetlejuice especially.
There's a Fall Guy.
1988.
There's a Fall Guy movie coming out.
Yeah.
that's
Isn't that
right.
Gosling? Ryan Gosling's doing that, I think.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a humorous thing, you think, or a serious
It won't
deal?
be enough. So, yeah.
And it's also, there's, I know y'all don't care, and I think I joked about this last week, but Mean Girls the musical.
I saw that.
is coming out.
Yeah.
And also the Joker, Folie deux, or whatever they call it.
Part 2.
Part
Which
2,
is
it's going to be a musical.
right?
That's coming out in the fall, I believe. So you have all that going on. It's just
A Quiet Place Day 1 is coming out.
Yes, saw that.
But nobody's...
Damsel looks good to me. Have y'all seen the preview for Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown?
No.
It's a fantasy thing, and she's it's a fire-breathing dragon and stuff. At first, I thought it was a thing for Stranger Things because the scene looked a little bit like the Upside Down. But she's supposed to marry a handsome prince and deals with a fire-breathing dragon. It looks pretty interesting, and I'd heard nothing about that. So that'll be good. There's a Ghostbusters sequel, which I think is
the Frozen Empire or something like that.
Paul Rudd continues as a Ghostbuster. I think that'd be good. What about Kraven the Hunter? Do y'all have any real desire to see Kraven?
I do. I like the previews of that.
Nah, that or Madam Web I'm not interested in. But,
yeah, those are the two that are really should be on our radar. I just wondered what y'all thought about.
But what about Twisters? The sequel to Twister. It's coming out July 19th.
I don't see that. I
saw that on the list, but I didn't know it was a sequel.
It is a sequel. It is, while the film is not a continuation of the original film, it promises to deliver the same thrills and disasters that made the original a box office hit.
Okay, flying cows and everything. I loved the first one.
It was so awesome. It was just so awesome.
I hate that,
Did you say it was a lot of fun?
Away.
A movie about tornadoes and death and destruction. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. So,
I mean, it was. I mean, even though that's a actual real danger as opposed to Godzilla versus Kong, the new Empire, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
What about there's another Lord of the Rings coming out?
I saw that. I was thinking that was the series, but it's not, right?
It's on the movie list.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
I just saw it.
Brian Cox is the narrator. I saw that part.
The Lord of Rohirrim.
Yeah, what he said.
The War of Rohirrim.
Oh, this sounds great.
The War of the Rohirrim.
Oh, okay.
Warner Brothers' latest film. And it's an animated prequel
Yeah.
Oh,
Exploits
okay.
of Helm, Hammerhand, Ledger, and King of Rohan.
Yeah.
That'll be a hard pass until it comes out on streaming.
Yeah, that's
Ryan Cox.
That's
Ryan
who
Cox
Helm's
is the
Deep
lead
is named
voice.
after. This is interesting. Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart story. Jerry Seinfeld directs and stars in the 60-set Netflix origin story for the iconic toaster pastry.
Now, I do want to
could get
see
into
that. I
that.
remember hearing about that. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, Seinfeld, Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, and Hugh Grant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds
Is
great.
it a documentary or a movie?
It says it's a movie.
I think it's I think it's kind of like Founder, a dramatized account of how the thing actually came about.
Yeah.
Or Beanie Babies, whatever the Beanie Babies was.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, but there's a similar movie about hot Cheetos, how that came about. That
Oh yeah, because didn't somebody in Mexico create that?
Well, I think it was somebody at the Cheetos factory, but it was a Hispanic guy. Yeah, and the girl that was on, I think she was on Real Housewives, not Real Housewives. Eva Longoria, is that? I think she's the one. I think she's the one that did it.
That's Real Housewives.
Was it? Well, Real Housewives is a reality show. She was on.
But that's when it becomes Real Housewives of so and so.
Oh, yes, right. That's
Isn't
right.
that-
She was on the
No,
original.
No, I think you're thinking Desperate Housewives.
Desperate
That's
Housewives.
right.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Wasn't
Chris,
it? Wasn't
we
it
all watched that,
Top
I guess.
Gun 2, Maverick? That they were no.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Kingdom
coming
of
out in
the Planet of the
2024. Art. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, there's
Kingdom
two.
of the Planet of the Apes is coming out.
Yeah, there's the Planet of the Apes sequel, which looks great, and then Deadpool
I think
3.
it looks good.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Which
I'm interested.
I got to
in.
see that. Yeah, because Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds on the screen together should be a lot of fun.
Plus, they keep dropping potential cameos and set photos and all these kind of things, and you wonder what's real and what's not. So it'll be fascinating to see what actually shows up.
Well, speaking of, one of the Geek of the Week we should have brought up was the facts that Jonathan Majors got fired by Marvel, and what are they going to do about Kang?
Oh, that should be a whole episode probably.
Yeah, maybe we.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because that's huge news. Huge news. He's looking at a year of jail time.
Yeah, but as it affects the Marvel Cinematic Universe, apparently Avengers 5, which was known as the Kang Dynasty, is now being referred to as Avengers 5 within Marvel in development, and we don't know if they're going to recast Kang, if they're just going to drop Kang, or what they're going to do now. So,
well, do we want to get into our fearless predictions?
well, we can. Probably the best movie of 2024 we haven't even talked about, and that's Dune Part 2.
Well, I wondered why that was conspicuously absent in here. That's what you're looking forward to.
I was just going to see Jay's big list.
Well, that one, and I saw that one, and also I don't know if this was for sure 2024 or not, but Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out next year too.
I thought that was a 25.
Well, that's what it was. Kind of at the end of the list I looked at, it said questionable, so it may be 2024.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Art, that is your assignment, is to watch the latest Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I almost watched it yesterday. I'll try to watch it. I need to, because everybody, y'all have all seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to watch that. We can have that as an episode coming up. Y'all hadn't talked about it, have you?
No.
Okay.
So,
all right. So Dune Part 2, you're excited about that?
I am.
Almost 3 hours running time.
Yeah, and Elvis himself, Austin Butler's Fade Arthur, one of the big bads, which should be a lot of fun to see. And there's speculation that if this does decently well, they'll go into Dune Part 3, which will be from Dune Messiah, which is a continuation.
Yeah, I've seen some rumors of that.
Yeah. So I don't think they'll go to Children of Dune, but Dune Messiah would be good, and that'd be a good place to probably stop it off at. So, but anyway, that's probably the one that I will go to the theater.
That's one you're looking most forward to
that weekend of. I know my wife will not go with me. I don't know if I can convince either one of you guys to go with me to go see Dune Part 2. So,
I barely got through Dune Part 1.
Yeah. Well, there's probably no hope for Jay.
Well, it's no hope for me to getting through it, that's for sure.
You have to. It's no Oppenheimer.
But you got through Oppenheimer.
I did. It's a miracle. Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. Actually, that's more of a middle summer.
Sort of
miracle.
the summer, Christmas in July.
It was a summer solstice miracle. It's what it was. So, which, as we record today, it's the winter solstice.
Is it?
That's
Wow.
right. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Today's the shortest day of the year.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, we've made it, So, but anyway. All right, fearless predictions. You got a fearless prediction for 24 Art?
Yes. Kathleen Kennedy is out. They're going to bring George Lucas back in to do something that will kind of help to retcon the
You think
the final trilogy.
You think they'll bring Lucas back?
That's what I'm thinking. That's my fearless prediction. They're supposed to be kind of outlandish, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so. I would just thought that they would I think they would bring Jon Favreau in to replace Kathleen Kennedy. Personally, is what I think.
Yeah,
they would do.
I don't think he will be in a very active role, but I think because of his relationship with Dave Filoni, that he will be brought back to help. I don't think they will use him. He won't direct anything. He may or may not have an executive producer credit on something, but his ideas are going to help shape something. And it may or may not do anything with the final trilogy, but I think we're going to see something that maybe helps fix some of that.
Has Kathleen Kennedy become the Rick Berman of Star Wars?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Everybody's kind of waiting for it.
I think we're. I don't think that part of it is the outlandish or fearless prediction. I think she's pretty much going to be invited to leave.
Yeah.
But my thought is they give George Lucas some type of, obviously not a role where he replaces her, but something where his creative energy, just to kind of maybe bring that together, while he's still around and able to do stuff. Not that he's close to not being able to, but at the same time, I think you want to get his contributions. And Dave Filoni is such a fan.
Star Wars 10, Revenge of the Midichlorians is what it's going to be.
Yeah, oh gosh. That's right. Jar Jar's back.
I knew. Yeah, Jar Jar strikes back, and then, Return of the Midichlorians. So, Jay,
Ray walks in, Jar Jar's in the shower. It's all been a dream.
Oh, Dallas. Oh, Dallas. Patrick Duffy
Me
comes
so
up
glad
out of
to
the
see you, Ray.
Oh, man. All right, Jay, what's your fearless prediction?
I think I failed on this assignment. The only thing I can come up with, I know we don't get into politics here, and I won't get into politics specifically at all. But when you asked me my prediction, my thought was someone who is not even on the ballot now will be our president.
Well,
okay.
See, my predictions along that lines as well, that no one under the age of 75 will be elected president. So, I think that's kind of where we're trending towards. But so you think no one that's
I think maybe it's very possible that no major candidate that is currently out there will end up being president.
So again, we could be talking about Jar Jar Binks.
Right, for sure.
Misa going to be the president. Oh, that's the way he vetoes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Art had a serious one, then there's me and you.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah. All right. Any parting thoughts, my fellow Nostradamus?
Wait, what was your prediction?
That no one under the age of 75 was going to be elected president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was just gut telling off of Jay.
No. That was actually what I came up with, and I think that's probably going to
I hope
to
that's
be.
not going to be like that's not. You're not saying like ever again, right? You're just saying.
I'm saying for the 2024 cycle. So,
there may not be another election after that.
That's right. My other prediction is Oppenheimer wins Best Picture at the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that outlandish?
No.
It's just bold.
And I think Barbie will be nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Now that you get 10 nominees for Best Picture.
I saw a thing, a critic had the top 3 movies included Barbie, Oppenheimer, and no, Oppenheimer was not in it. It was Barbie, Asteroid City, and what's the Osage, the movie, The Killers of the Flower Moon.
Ah, yeah.
Were the 3 best movies.
Has anybody seen Asteroid City?
I saw it.
No, it's available free on Netflix or somewhere.
Prime, on Amazon Prime.
Prime, okay, gotcha.
What'd you think of Asteroid City?
Bizarre. I enjoyed watching
Really?
it. It's definitely very Wes Anderson-ish bizarre. Yeah.
Have you watched it, Robbie?
No, not yet. I should watch it with David. David loves Wes Anderson for some reason.
Yeah, both of my boys love him too, so we may watch that when Will gets home.
Yeah, I may see if, of course, as we record, the Saints are playing tonight, so we won't watch that. We won't watch Wes Anderson on Amazon Prime. I think we'll watch the Saints. But we need to watch Asteroid City. That would be fun. So
Yeah.
not to be confused with U2's Atomic City.
I wasn't confused.
Oh, were you not?
No.
Yeah.
Or Hemorrhoid City, which is just much worse.
What? Was that the Ramones?
Hemorrhoid City.
Is that related to Asteroid City? Sorry.
Oh, and that's
Sorry,
why,
this is Reed.
Yep, that's why Jay is the butt of all jokes. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Reed.
He'll
All
take a
right.
crack at humor every now and then.
We've all had our turn. I think it's time to say goodbye.
All right, that's going to do it for us this time. We'll see you next time around.